What up, everybody? 8:30 on the moon grind. Another night. I think this is night number 9. Got a way high up there, waxing gibbous moon at 73.8%. What's going on? Flat Plain, Oregon, and Jared Pierce, what's happening? And everybody joining. Hope you all are feeling well tonight. Got some nice views. Terminator lines cutting right through. Mare Imbrium, Copernicus right on the cusp. Down at the bottom we got Clavius and Tycho and Schickard coming into view. Good views of Chrysium, Serenity, Tranquility, Fecundity, and Humorum. I'm gonna go for a little bit tonight. We've got some zoom shots, and I think it's going to be tough to get Saturn and Jupiter. They're already basically set. It's going to be a nice ride tonight. everybody. Shout out to Kronos and Light Moon and Miguel. What's up, gents? Hope y'all are doing well. What's up, Jimbo? And anybody else joining? Seems like there's some people in. Welcome. So yeah, as I mentioned right before this, I had the camera with the focal reducer, which is like a fat magnifying lens, and it basically makes an f10 8-inch telescope become an f6.3, which means it gathers light a bit faster. So you can, and it widens the shot. So right now, I got rid of the extender tube. So the extender tube allows me to get a slightly wider shot. So I can put the camera, the extender tube, which is the extender tube is essentially a 2x Barlow with the front piece removed. So it fits on the front of the camera, that goes into the focal reducer, into the scope. So that's the widest possible shot I can get. And I do it so that we can like really see the moon fully, especially when you hit like record on the crop sensor camera, it kind of pushes it forward like the 4K. Like right now, I don't have record hit, I just have the camera and you can see the black bars on the left and right. If I hit record, it'll fill the screen. So that's a situation. So right now, I got rid of the extender tube, so this is camera, focal reducer, telescope. And what happens is, before I figured out how to use the extender tube, this was pretty much my first look at the moon, but it was with the Sony Alpha 6000. This is the A6 V, so it's slightly higher resolution. Actually, it's much higher resolution. It's 4K. I started on HD, but this is I went from that to the A6 III, which was early 4K, and then 6.5 now, which is the 4K with the stabilization. And then I think the next step is probably a 4K with 60 FPS, but still you need like crazy bandwidth to even run 30. Right now, I constantly have trouble making sure it's regulated. What's up, Kimmy? How's it going? Do I use color filters? Well, not really much, but I do have a couple, like I have an Oxygen 3 filter, an O3. I used to have an H alpha, like a red 520 nanohertz, nanometers rather. And yeah, what else? I think I had a couple of other ones, but I feel like adding more pieces in front of between the scope and the camera just makes the image poorer. So I've become a fan of like the least amount of glass for the most amount of effect. So this is the wide shot with just the focal reducer, and this is a crop sensor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record. You'll see how the image kind of fills out. Yo, what's up, Bon Dia? So, I'm going off on a little tip of how I do the scoping, because Kronos asked. Right, so this is focal reducer, wide shot with the Sony A6 V in record mode. So the reason for the focal reducer is to be able to fill the screen with the moon here. And then I add the extender tube to even get it a bit wider. Right now when I'm looking on the YouTube dashboard, I feel like I've got the moon perfectly in frame. So that's the goal there. And so digital zooms from this perspective yield you what we just had. And then typically what I'll do is when I really want to get close up, I'll get rid of the focal reducer, which I will in a second, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so this, I'm gonna take a quick snapshot. That's why it's nice to get that wide shot so you have enough to crop and adjust the moon. The other thing, quick pro tip, if you have a remote control, essentially zoom into the thing digitally, and when you feel like it's most in focus, that's when you hit the snap photo button. So sometimes it doesn't really matter. There are nights that it's so clear it doesn't matter, but there are certain nights where you really have rolling atmospherics, and it's nice to be able to zoom in and find when it really feels crispy and hit that photo button to get a still shot. All right, so now I'm gonna get rid of the focal reducer, and I'll show you what that looks like. So it'll be camera direct to scope. Twist, twist. Yo, what's up, Ellie Wynn? How are ya? All right, so that is focal reducer removed and camera direct scope. Yeah, getting the moon groove on tonight. Let's do it. What is it? Today is the 6th. Indeed, it is the 9th day in a row of the moon. Going on this moon grind this month, a shot every day at least. Thanks for the support, Kimmy, and everybody. And if you have any spots on the moon you want to zoom into, let me know. Or any tracks you want to hear, let me know. So I'm going to take a few shots here. I'm going to zoom in and make sure it's really sharp. So essentially, this is what I was saying about like this shot plus the digital zoom is pretty much the least amount of glass you can get for the most amount of magnification. So on a 6, 8, or 11, I think this is pretty much the optimal setup. Now, if you get like a really clear night and a lot of light on the moon, you get a 2x Barlow, 2.5, then it really kind of makes a difference. So I'll show you all what that looks like with a 3x in a few. Some tunes up in here. Squelch. Squelch, squelch. 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 .9 wax and gibbous. Let's ride. Inside my soul, you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside your soul. I keep you waiting. I keep you deep inside my soul. You keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside your soul. You keep me waiting. Howdy, howdy, what's up, y'all? How's it going, session of the Nile? Man, session is a good word. Happy Lux, what's happening? Hi, hi. Zoomage and tunage. Yeah. Okay, so I got us pulled up here. Copernicus crater. Really good detail tonight. If any of y'all checked out the electric view that I was talking about with Neil and the crew, to the right of Copernicus you have these kind of little dotted filamentary lines. What's hard to see is that they're just little circles or just kind of scattered along this thread. And so the thread looks like a sinuous rill, but it's really just a series of circular strikes or little bubbles. And then to the left of it, of course, is incredible blister, kind of inset hexagons, and it almost even looks like an inset pentagon, but that's just the angle of it tonight. And you can see a row of central peaks, sharp walls, and filamentary action dendrites coming from all sorts of different angles towards Copernicus. Really worthwhile phase to view it at. Thank you, Kimmy. Very nice of you to say. Try and do the same thing. I write things that make me feel good. This one always pumps me up. Let's head on over to Tycho Crater and see what's going on down the south. What up, Mary? How's it going? Evening to you. And everybody. How y'all feeling? It's a pretty shaky view tonight, but really nice, interesting angles. Got a close-up shot of Clavius with the unbelievable spiral, the beginning of a Fibonacci spiral of craters or features or strikes. Let's just call them strikes. Lunar strikes. Anyway, starting with a hexagon at the tip and then curving to the left. Popularly, this is interpreted as like a string of asteroids or meteors hitting the moon and kind of being flung into a line, but it seems so insane that that's the popular theory. This flows along a current inside this really incredible crater, Clavius. Clavius is referenced in 2001, A Shake Odyssey. Why is it shaky? Because there's some breeze and wind. It's also on a staircase. It's also, I don't know, the ACs are on. So AC units shake the place that I'm in and create vibration. So everybody's got their AC unit on in the neighborhood. I got shake pads, but it doesn't really help that much. Plus, the more we're zoomed in, the more shaky it looks. So this is double digital zoom. Oh, Mary, sucks that you're still feeling bad. Hope it's passing. Awesome session of the Nile. Good music for a Wednesday night, thank you. Good company for a Wednesday night, y'all. Alright, so if you like these shots, make sure you have 4K, and let me know if you want me to zoom into a particular region. I'm going to head up north now, take a look at Mare Imbrium, Plato, Mare Frigoris, etc. And I'm trying to pick a song here that I haven't played. How about Shells? Made up of shells, will lift the storm, coals of the night, you are the door. Made up of shells, I am the storm, cause of the love, you are my light. Made up of shells, magnetic light, claws of the force, gracefully fall. Michael, McDuffie, nice to see you. Hope you're having a good week, brother. And Kimmy, I think it was just one of the streams I had. It was just a couple of minutes long. And I felt like, I don't know, sometimes I hate having those like 10-minute, 3-minute, then hour and a half long streams in my feed. I'm kind of OCD like that, so I think I deleted one of them, maybe? Maybe not, but if that's maybe what you're asking. And yeah, just over here with a crazy zoom on Copernicus and Eratosthenes and all these kind of like chains of little sparks. Sparks in a dark room. I'm just feeling chill tonight. I was going to talk about some theory, but mostly just going to show hexagons. And definitely check out the description of this video and all videos for great Electric Universe links. I'm just going to give the roll call because I haven't done it in a week or so. Recommended links hit the Electric View, Neil and Shockwave, and Duff, and Buddy, and all sorts of good people. And I also had a show last Sunday. Tess Clark was there, and let me see. I'm going to link y'all to that. The Electric View, shameless plug. Well, also because I believe in good shows, and last Sunday was a very tight and logical show. So let me know, maybe you think I'm crazy, but this is a good discussion, like a 5-year in the making discussion of lunar features with a bunch of smart people. So the Electric View and Thunderbolts Project, of course, Electric Terra Vision, Greg J, Electric Universe Eyes, David who comes and hangs out with us sometimes, and then Kronos, who's starting to hang out with us, and See the Pattern, Gareth, Suspicious Observers, still does good work, Electric Sputtering Discharge in the Lab, if you want to look up what the moon looks like in a laboratory. Of course, let us not forget the amazing Halton Arp, and check out Sky Scholar as well, Pierre-Marie Robitaille, and his pal, Stephen J. Crothers, baking some Einsteinian cakes. Somebody's asking me, let's see, Session, what's going on, says, what's the weirdest thing you've seen on or near the moon? Here, I will give you a playlist of mine that has all the best so-called weird things. Actually, that's funny, that's what I was going to talk about tonight. I went through a list, albeit on Wikipedia, of all the classic UFO sightings. I was like, what's the first UFO sighting? Because I feel like there's this weird correlation with the number of UFO sightings and the increased technology on Earth. So right now we basically have the most amount of UFO sightings ever, and several hundred years have gone by where we've had certain types of UFO sightings, but they've been few and far between. So it's just another good reason that, or a verification for me that UFO tech is really human tech. It completely, if you put a graph of the rise in UFO sightings with the rise in technology of mankind, they go probably hand in hand. So that was a little bit of research today, quick and dirty, but I'm looking up this playlist real quick right here. So, Chank Zooms. All right, this is a playlist of a lot of interesting things, like, so there's Venus with M42, and there's like a best of, a couple of best of, there's a satellite that I tracked for like 10 minutes in deep space. A couple of them. There's a weird craft and flyby of the moon. There's a moon shadow that looks like a balloon, but I've reconsidered it. It looks like some sort of meteor, asteroid, or craft. ISS. Yeah, so check that link out if you want to see some weird stuff. What's going on? Michael Wise. I just wanted to make a comment about this UFO stuff because I have such a strong opinion, and I know it pisses a lot of people off, but having been really into the idea of UFOs and aliens and that type of technology, I started to realize that it's much more logical to perceive human consciousness and the fact that we exist as the pinnacle of all technological success, and then work backwards from there, not forwards to something else. It's completely a case of the grass is always greener when it comes to like, oh, I want spacecraft to travel to other planets, or I want to live forever, or aliens exist and they're going to come save us from this government, or if aliens existed and we were an advanced culture, then no one would work. We could just play all day long. There's a hidden government that hides all this super advanced technology from us. And, you know, I could go down a litany of things just like that. But then if you consider the fact that the really obvious thing is that you grow a human body that is very intricately set up to allow you to exist and experience consciousness and life, that is the absolute apex of all technology ever to have existed, and in my opinion right now that will ever be able to exist. So artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, bionic, you know, like advancing human bodies, putting them inside computers, all of it is still within the conscious paradigm that we understand today, which is being alive. And so within that, I feel that there are these cultural memifications of life that make it seem like this current life is so boring and banal that we need something else, something other. And that's where I feel this whole alien thing takes the wrong turn, where it's really not about discovery, but about salvation. And truly, when you say like the mind is the new frontier, it is and it isn't. The mind already does this amazing thing called see and hear and smell and exist and run a human body. It's still this idea that the grass is always greener, like we haven't awoken yet. People are waking up. There's going to be a revolution, like a cycle. But the more you talk about that, the more you don't talk about the fact that you already exist. There already is a moon. There already is a sun. Plants already exist. You can already write music. You're already at the apex pinnacle of all consciousness and technology ever. So who needs aliens? It's almost ridiculous to think about it. You're creating the concept of aliens. Even if aliens came from Arcturus or Cygnus, or if they looked like Star Wars, or they looked just like us, would it be different? Would you eat differently? Would you take a crap differently? Would you have sex differently? Maybe you would, but mostly you probably wouldn't. You'd probably sleep and die and eat and crap just like you did before there were aliens. So I never understood the salvation of aliens, even though I was interested in the tech of it. Whoa, I put my distortion on my voice. That was unintentional, but timely. Same thing, salvation from thinking about science is science denialism, science denial. People who deny science, and it's funny because there are people who think they believe in science, but are actually denying discovery. And then there are people who don't want to study, and they deny science so they don't have to work. Just like there's all these different onion-skinned versions of people completely disempowering themselves because they haven't realized the fundamental understanding that you're in control of everything around you, simply by virtue of perception of everything around you. All right, so I'm jumping back to the chat room. Michael Wise says, what about the Atlantean civilizations before the cataclysms? Again, that's something that, actually I apologize for saying that. I hate saying that. Again, like I'm being pedantic or talking down to you. No. What about the Atlantean? Who knows, really? Like, do you really know about the Atlantean civilizations firsthand? Do we know when they really existed? And let's say we do. What if it was just human beings that had gotten to a level of technology that is further than we are now, and then faced a cataclysm and were set back? Or they had a different type of physics and science because Earth was different. Or maybe the technology they had then is still the technology that we use now. The obvious point is actually that those people were the beginnings of the technology we use today, which is extremely advanced. The understanding of the technology today is manipulated, but the technology we have today is extremely advanced. So it would beg the question that, like, 2,000 years ago, wasn't science on its way to becoming incredibly advanced? 10,000 years ago, science was on its way to becoming incredibly advanced. There's this idea that, like, again, grass is greener. Back in the day, they were so much smarter and so much happier. And probably not, because existing means you're pinched. You're squeezed as hard as possible into this reality, and it hurts all over, but you get to experience consciousness. Is that off the deep end enough? Of course, yeah, you said gratitude. That makes perfect sense. That's really ultimately what it is. When you realize that you already are the pinnacle of technology, then you can just relax. What else? Who else? Oh, did I miss a lot? Let's see. Higher consciousness of the light within is heavy, and it has nothing to do with graviton, all pull. Maybe they were just way more advanced than us. I'm sure there's been numerous times this has happened. All right, Session of the Nile says, I think this alien agenda was spread to take our focus off ourselves. It doesn't mean that it's not exciting and seductive to think about aliens, but it's just a product. There are a lot of seductive, amazing products. 24/7. 24/7 says exactly what I was talking about. We are still cavemen compared to them. It's a complete grass is greener. So the implication there is that we're dumb. And that's a place of, for me, disempowerment, because that's something product marketing wants you to feel. So they'll tell you things like, oh, it was much better there, make it great there, etc. Things like that. You can tell what I'm talking about. And there's this concept that somehow man is total crap. Humankind is a cancer on the planet Earth. But what's interesting is that that sort of has to exist in order for great things to exist. So I don't decry people who lament life, but I do call it out in a way that makes sense to me, which is, are we cavemen compared to them, or are we the correct progression after learning certain things? I'll give you an example. Like, I play guitar for a long time, and I still get bad and good days of playing. So just because I've learned and acquired and practiced all the skills, I can still regress within progressing. So Michael Wise says, I have a unique view when it comes to aliens or gods. The Nag Hammadi scriptures speak as though the gods were simply advanced humans or aliens. Can you maybe elaborate a little more, because a lot of, the ancient texts are really just interpreted, And I feel like you have to take the word of the people who translate ancient languages and their cynicism and their vantage point, and you have to think it's a lot of interpretation as well. So this idea that we know exactly what the ancient texts were talking about, there is a grain of salt that I have to take it with. However, you're of course entitled to review, I'm sure. But to me, things like humanoid, anthropomorphized references in history can easily be explained with plasma cosmology. And we are super duper human advanced cultures at this point. So I don't know why it seems like Egyptians have to be more advanced than we are today, or Atlanteans, or pre-Selenites, or Proto-Saturnians. It's poetic to think that back in the day somehow it was better, or they were kinder. I hear this a lot where we're on planet Earth and no animals ate each other, and then it changed. And I'm like, and Rick is probably one that wants to wring my neck, but I think that death is completely natural. Animals had to eat each other from day one. And plants die and humans die. The cycle exists in order to create life as we know it. So I don't know if there were really gods. It's also idealistic to think, oh, I'm a poor little human and there's this larger creature that's bigger than me that's gonna tell me what's right from wrong. Again, it's a placement of responsibility elsewhere as opposed to self. Likewise says, and these so-called gods had the food of the gods, isotopes of the gods charged. It's hard to explain in a short amount of time, but their food of the god changes everything. Yeah, but I could equate what we have today with all the different diets and all the different people who are like injecting themselves with stem cells and using biofield technology and tuning. We're at the very, very precipice of everything that our ancestors were working on. But we have the added benefit of connecting it online every night and talking to each other about these ideas. I feel like a lot of lamentation replaces action, and if people just went ahead and created plasma generators, we'd have them, But people are just waiting for other people to create them so that they can talk about it. Eat All Your Fish says, at some point, some highly advanced civilization engineering us, we didn't just grow from fish over millions of years, we were made like Prometheus. Okay, let's dissect this, because I have an answer. The earth, plants, animals all grow in filamentary structures, just like centipedes, just like insects, or branches. There's no reason that we couldn't have all been created together, since we all are exactly the same structure with different rule sets at different magnitudes. Insects to us, to bacteria, to cosmic, to quantum, all act, look basically the same. So why do we need an extra culture that was different than us, that created us in their image, unless it is to basically, again, place responsibility at the hands of another race or a master or an alien, as opposed to saying, I created all this, I breathe, I made my body, I am the God, I am the devil. Duff says, our inherent genetic potential could produce beings who would adapt to many various environments and therefore appear alien to us. Like dogs, we are capable of great change in service of survival. So I think we're already there. Like, we modify DNA constantly. They're genetic. I mean, think about the public view, and then add, like Eat said, 50 years, 100 years of advanced tech that's not revealed to you. And further, think about the holographic nature and the patterning of things. There's an agency of an agency of an agency up until there's a tiny agency that has information that's probably 200 years ahead of where we are now. That's denotatively, it's necessitative. It's something that has to exist, and there's probably, like there are extremes of every type of system by virtue of the system existing. I feel like I'm going like wordplay, but it's not really. It's actually very, very clear to me. Eat All Your Fish says, because our DNA has been altered. So do me a favor, go look into Google and look up who came up with that story about our DNA being altered, and see how you can validate or verify their actions, or whoever funded Discovery Channel, History Channel, just basically UFO channels across the board basically have leaned into this one article that was, what was it, Coast to Coast? I think it was on Coast to Coast. That's what I was thinking of. And Alex Jones. Anyway. Let's see. Side point 24/7 says Mercury will transit the sun on November 11th. Definitely a front and center point, 9 a.m. through 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to try and stream it right here. Kimmy says, eat all your fish. Yes, I agree, and I think our DNA was manipulated. There's a missing link, and I think that's it. Guess we'll never really know. So I'm going to keep being slightly antagonistic, if you'll forgive me, but think about it. It's like why do we need that? Like, why do you need there to be a, a missing link, besides the fact that the media has hammered home this idea that there's somehow a link between a certain type of species and humans? Like, I don't know why we need that missing link, and why it's romantic. I wonder why it's seductive, as somebody who thinks about things psychologically and why people like things. It actually is strange to me how it's so attractive to think about another race of people that's just better than you, even though you don't know that for sure, in order to somehow validate the actions or the mystery. So MG42 Pillbox says moonlight is cold. I gotta be honest, that's almost exactly in line. That makes absolute no sense. People who use phrases like that have no concept of the actual science behind it, and I haven't seen a single good video that makes sense of that concept at all. So I'm not going to reply to it, but that's pretty funny. So Eat All Your Fish says humans are not animals, but I would ask you to cut open an animal and tell me what parts of the animal are different. The hearts, the lungs, the skin, teeth, bones. Like, how much of an animal is actually different than a human? Scott Ferguson says, can one see stars from free space? One can see stars from Earth, and I've never been to space, but I have seen photos that seem convincing that are taken from spacecraft, little satellites, that actually look like you can see stars in space. I guess it's probably more difficult because there's no real atmosphere density in space, but it would make sense that you could see stars. It's pretty hilarious, MG. Bye-bye. (921) Virgo says, let's go to Mars and turn on the air. Again, super arrogant concept presented by companies that tell you things that they believe in, their mission statements about terraforming Mars, without telling you how far away Mars really is first, and what type of technology it would mean to actually take that. Eat All Your Fish says, then I'd ask you to ask that animal what he thinks about that concept. Yeah, this is what I argue with Rick Shockwave about how human consciousness is somehow better than animal consciousness versus just different than animal consciousness. Like this idea that wolves and zebras and like rhinos and hippos don't have some sort of language is just ridiculous to me. Of course they do. We don't understand their language and they don't understand ours, but to say that because humans can conceive of technology, then all of a sudden we're somehow better, I don't think so. Like, it's like, talk about a pitfall of the ego. You know, it's more the idea that we need to make man feel more special than an animal or a plant is a failure. It's not an advancement. You know what I mean? It's like, why would I want to feel better or more superior than an animal or more conscious than the stars or a rock? Like that's actually in a way offensive to the world, and you're the world. So it's self-affrontation. It's almost like a almost self-denigration by saying, oh, somehow because we can do math and we can make a casserole, somehow animals don't have language or culture, which I don't think is fair. But consciousness, I mean, like you're changing the language. Think about it. You're saying you cannot deny that human consciousness is unique. Come on. I'm not. I'm saying human consciousness is our consciousness, human magnitude consciousness. And baby consciousness is baby-sized consciousness. And dogs are dogs' consciousness. So, but the way you're implying it, you know what I'm saying, is saying that human consciousness somehow is slightly more unique than animal consciousness, which it's not. That's like saying, that's the old Animal Farm thing. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. I mean, I don't think so. You insisting that I take a hierarchical role and say that we're superior consciousness to animals makes no sense to me. What's going on, Ryan in North Carolina? What's up, Kevin H? It's dominion over. Is it really dominion? Because I feel like humans are way more fragile than animals. Animals don't go around flaunting that they have to be better than humans. They don't. They don't give a shit about humans. They do what they do. Humans are the ones looking at animals being like, you must be subservient to me because humans have the frail ego. Amoeba awareness matters. Hilarious. Kimmy says, when an elephant dies, they really, really mourn and cry. They do. They do. And fish use tools, and birds create art and music. This idea, like Rick and I had a long discussion about this, about how I was like, he was like, we have culture and music, and I was like, birds have a lot of music. I mean, go to a forest and you'll hear the most incredible symphony of different types of perfect measures and metronomic. And so, of course, this in every type of conspiracy or intellectual conversation, there are these straw men, and the straw man is that, oh, that's that's because they have to survive. You know, birds don't have music because it's just survival. And this idea that somehow survival is like, oh yeah, just, you know, that old thing, that silly survival thing. It's instinctual. Like instinct and survival is just, oh yeah, oh, everyone has that. Well, no. But birds have symphonic, and they can fly. Humans can't fly. And cats are definitely spies. All right, taking a little break here. I've been ranting enough. I hope I didn't inflame everybody's ego. But let me know what you think. It's been very, very cosmically humorous lately. I've just been chuckling at the nature of the world. They don't need to write it down. They communicate it telepathically, magnetically. Still, I mean, read your sentences in the chat to yourself and tell me that they don't imply that you're trying to one-up birds who have no qualms with you and are not sitting out there tweeting at each other, telling each other, hey, that guy in the chat, eat all your fish. Like, ask him to tweet 2 miles, like ask him to create a bird song that can communicate with these 3 types of birds at a distance of 5 miles, like holding you to a standard and then being like, oh, that, like our consciousness is so much better than these stupid humans. Oh, I could go all night. I did with Rick, and then we stopped because it was going nowhere. But I would definitely say if you want to be validated in these concepts, definitely hit up Shockwave Rick, and y'all will be quite the pair, elevating yourselves over our brethren felines. Sorry, I don't mean to judge. I'm not trying to be an asshole, seriously. I just mean, like, I don't agree with it at all. I think plants are infinitely conscious in ways that we can't even imagine yet. Talk about, like, understanding ourselves better. Start by understanding the world that's around us that we dance with, as opposed to finding every way to make us different, to like divide and conquer this universe, as opposed to understand that your mind is the bird and the cat and the plant, and the more you deny that you're that the more you state that you're different than that, the less integrated we actually all are. All right, I'm putting a pin in this one, but good deal. Good chat. And all respectfully, of course.
Eyes of the world, don't let it go cold. I know it's right to ask such crazy questions. Where will this feeling get me? Oh, where will this feeling get me? I left home at 17. Couldn't tell you if I was living a dream. What could I do? For a while I played the field. How could I prove the hidden yield without the blues to feel? My heart was cool and left no residue. Catch me if you fall, catch me when you're low. The loot goes high and high, as friends you used to know. Catch you when you fall, catch you when you're low. I love you, take a good look, it's a simulation. Wake up, it's solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. And don't you know, your life is worth more than what you have, take a good look, it's a simulation. Wake up, it's solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Man, don't you know, your life is worth more than Catch me if you fall, catch me if you're low. The loot goes high and up, as fast as you can go.
What up, everybody? Got my smoothie, feeling good. And I'm gonna start winding it down over here. Go and chill a little bit. But really blessed with an excellent shot tonight. I hope y'all are feeling good. Ryan coming to here at 10 o'clock, and what's our moon looking like? Ooh, a little shooting star. Damn, it didn't show up on camera though. What? Yeah. 74.2. I'm excited for the full moon this month. And drop some new tunes. Stuff that y'all never heard before. I finally was like, alright, I'm not gonna play every single track I write just because then I can't save and surprise. So I shall. Target we should zoom into next.
everything's been for your pleasure. You found your home, you found your soul, you found your treasure. When you play your mind, your face, the needlessness to when it's the love of the age. No story to say, just a corner of your page. On top of the wave, I found the love, I found the sage. I'm coming to say, no, it is your fate. I feel so hot. theater seemed no one weirder. Comes good Baron, the soulful speaker. Bring me back over telephone line, running amok in future time. In my space theater seems no one lives here, and existence has no motives either. Bring me back to your elegant crime, free from jams into your mind. So let's get crazy today. I got some smoke, let's get to talking. I got some love in the air, that's right. I got some love everywhere, that's right.
What's up, everybody? We're just jumping in some munchies and just sitting outside next to the moon. I mean, the scope. Welcome, Dragon 76. And thanks, everybody, for hanging out. I feel like I'm getting a little sleepy, but moon was looking rockin' tonight. I want to get in and do some zooms. I know I'll wake up. I wish I had a little bit of coffee, but I think I'll find some water. And yeah, you can get really deep with the headphones, staring at the moon. Get zonked out. I know a lot of y'all tell me that you fall asleep with this. I get it. It's kind of nice though that you choose TakeBackSpace. All right, let me set this image up again. Get a song going. Wake up song. Just got the snackies, the snacky munchies.
so fire. Set the feeling, so far, 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 go fire. Go and be weird in your heart of the street. So I know that's what's going. So that's what's going. Sky, baby's weird. There's no life without fear. So that which holds my soul. Now my mind is wide open. Staring at a trillion bright lights. Where the hell are you? Oh, my heart is wide open. Wide open. Wide open. Traveling to a million far sights. God
everybody. I'm just having fun sitting here, listening to tunes, trying to pick out things that I haven't played before or haven't played that much. And the view is just ridiculous tonight. Look at this detail, it's unreal. Definitely up there. This is right here at the Apennine mountain range, the Dragon Spine. I just make up names now. All the names have been taken, so let's just call it the Dragon Tail, Dragon Spine. But, and then so much pareidolia going on. Little worm creature eating looks like a surreal worm creature caterpillar. Here, let me sketch this. This will be fun. Gateway drug. The armies of Mordor marching. It would be amazing rolling up to Mari Ambrium like that. Little vehicle. All right, y'all. My chair is squeaky, and the moon is squeaky clean. It's crazy. I can't believe how beautifully sharp it is tonight. I'm just playing some of the tunes of the dunes based on the moon's relationship with runes that I found too too soon. Completely delirious because I'm just sitting here like trying to comprehend how I'm on this platform called YouTube playing music, but also looking at this object that's so far away and so mysterious and also so familiar. Think about like every day of your lives we've had the moon, or have we? Imagine it just showed up somewhere in your teens and you're like, oh, I just never noticed that before. No. I remember it when I was 5. I was like, what the heck? And I think I had a tiny telescope without any controllers. I just set it up and like pointed at the moon. It was always blurry and dirty. But here I am now with the cleanest shot in the east.
Oh, the midnight moon, you'll be right, oh, with the midnight moon, we'll be right, oh, set the midnight moon, you'll set right, oh, that's the midnight moon, we'll be right. Holding up your
All right. So, let's see. What's going on, Donald Yates? Welcome. And thanks for all the kind words, Ellie and everybody. Imagine what's going on. And Kevin H. What's happening? You're still here. Sorry, I meant to say hi earlier. Somebody somewhere. All right. Getting around here. I've been playing for 3 hours, or like playing tunes for 3 hours. I'm like, what haven't I played? Going through this cycle. I gotta get some of these new tunes out. I'm ready to hear some new stuff too. Let's see, what have I not played? What about... Play that, play that. Yeah, is it even possible? I've just run out of things to play. I play keyboards that emulate horns, but thanks for... I'll take the compliment. I can hear horns in my head. I still haven't learned a wind instrument though. It's on my list to do of larger life goals. Learn sax or trumpet. Nice, Kevin. Please check out the description of this video and pretty much all the videos. I have links to cool Electric Universe channels, the gear, music, and yeah, please feel free to ask any questions. This is looking really great right here. I'm trying to find the name of it on the atlas and just make sure I get it right. So this is the kind of peak right on the edge, on the rim. You can see the largest peak. I want to say that is, why can't I click on it? Warner? Yeah, Warner. It's a really, no, that's too small. So funny how it'll show it to you. Maybe can I rotate it? There we go, that's much better. Interesting, that's so crazy. So this is to the right of Mare Marginis. Also, what's up, Oksana? How's it going? Yeah, I'm looking for that correct name, but I think it's Warner, but I'm gonna double check. Yeah, it's a tough read. I guess I rotated the moon so I can see past this region, but I think it looks like Respighi or or Dubiago. There's like a bunch of regions to the right of Mare Undarum. So I don't know, but it looks really cool. We're seeing extremely sharp detail on the edge, plus a little bit of chromatic fringing to the redshift. But it's almost like a flat-floored, elongated crater. Quite large. Yeah, I feel like wind instruments would be difficult, and I've always wanted to play violin too, but same thing, going through all those years. I gotta say though, I took some drumming lessons, that really helped, and playing piano all the time really helps, even though I'm not really a trained pianist. And it's just constant practice. You gotta constantly upkeep the skills and improve in ways creatively. That's what's so fun about playing music. You're always evolving. Man, this is some crazy detail. I feel like I've seen this before, but not this crisp. All your crispiness in one place. Let me know what you think of this region. I'm just gonna stay here for a second and then we'll go check out Clavius. Must look amazing too. I'll play catch after this one. We gotta flip it for the edge right now because the songs are literal.
was living a dream. What could I do? For a while I played the field. How could I prove the hidden yield without the blues to feel? My heart was cruel and left no residue. Catch me if you fall, catch me when you're low. The loot goes high and high, as friends you used to know. Catch you when you fall, catch you when you're low. Gloria, I love you. Take a good look. It's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. And don't you know your life is worth more than what you have. Take a good look. It's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Man, don't you know your life is worth more than Catch me if you fall, catch me if you're low. The loot goes high and up, as fast as you can go. Oh, catch me if you fall, catch me when you're low.
What up, Rick? And everybody's still hanging out. Sensei Camilla, take care. Mary, I hope you feel better soon. And everybody. everybody. I'm still up, 3:17 on the clock. This is the old school. Pretty much every stream I did for a while was 3 hours plus. But yeah, unfortunately no planets tonight. But definitely a lot of excellent, unique pieces of footage tonight. Lots of geometry, lots of colors. 24/7 did 8 hours 2 nights ago. I've done that just a couple of times. 8 hours is a little much. My back aches just thinking about it. I have one way back. It was the snow moon, I think in 2015. It was like an 8.5 hour stream. And you can see the moon rotate from beginning to end over 8 hours. It does like a serious rotation. All right, I'm starting to get a little tired, but I love this view. Go a little bit longer. Let me know if you have any song requests or lunar locations that you want to take a look at. I guess it is setting a little bit, getting a bit, you know, maybe just let me do a wide shot here and we'll say goodnight to it. It's so sharp. I've played all these, how about something different? I've already played that. Damn, I played everything. Alright, I haven't played this one today. This is a good vibe. Everybody, that's a good one. Another one in the bag. Show 600 and something. Thanks 24/7. Take care. Kimmy, thanks for the awesome conversation and energy. Oksana, thank you. Ellie Wynn, as always, have a great night. Be safe. Pet the cats. Shockwave, late as always. Just kidding. Catch you soon. Sensei Camillo and Donald Yates. I'm just gonna call them out quickly. Douglas and Kevin and somebody. rest of your night. I'll catch you really soon. It's been a fun one. Peace, everybody. Peace, 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 peace.